If we were to ask you today, let me ask you this. What is it that's truly good or admirable about you? What is it that's truly good about you? Not what you possess, not what you're a part of, but you. What is it that's good about you? Tell us three qualities that you have. Not material qualities, not qualities derived from knowledge or from natural or acquired ability. No. You. What are your qualities? What do you have of what you know is good? Three things. So very few will be able to say with some difficulty what it is they have. Others won't have the slightest idea what to say. But everyone, as you might expect, will find this question to be quite fascinating and thought-provoking. And do you know why? Because most people don't know how to observe themselves. And of those who do, most of the time, they only observe the negative points. Only what's bothersome, what's uncomfortable, what makes you want to leave this life and start over to see if it'll be different this time. Most people often only see what has failed, what they really can't do. But what they achieved, what was successful, what they do naturally, the feeling that surfaces without any effort, and it's a feeling that uplifts. It's not observed, not felt, not admired. It's not a point that receives energy from you. So that's why this question, what's good about you, for many people, it can even become a nuisance because they don't know. They don't know how to congratulate themselves, how to praise themselves. They don't even know how to receive a compliment or a gift. There's always that feeling of wanting to diminish oneself, of wanting to fit into a concept that's very illusory. You can't be praised. You can't be the most beautiful person in the society you belong to. You can't be that person who earns more than your friends. You can't be that person who has a perfect relationship when your whole family doesn't have one, when all your friends don't have one. That you can't have a child who doesn't give you any kind of trouble. You can't be that person who never even catches a cold. You can't be that person for whom life always seems to hold something extraordinary in store. When people notice this and you see that they've noticed, you want to fit in somehow. And then you try to hide these blessings of yours, so to speak. And then you say, yeah, but it's not quite like that. Yeah, but it's not all roses. Yeah, but it's not always this way. Yeah, but I have my difficulties too. Because you want to fit into the average. You want to dim your light. You want to diminish your own greatness, your special qualities, just to fit into what is considered most normal. And what, in the end, ends up being the mediocrity of most people. We're talking about mediocrity, but this isn't a factor of belittlement because mediocrity is nothing more than being average. An average that's a bit insufficient because it doesn't bring happiness. But in no way is it to belittle those who live according to these criteria. Today, what we want to tell you is that you possess so much light. You possess everything that the universe is. It's compatible with your nature, so you possess it. You look at the outside and want to compare yourself to it, but you are incomparable. It's not because you have or because you don't have, because you haven't arrived yet or because you have. It doesn't matter. You are the universe. And if you can't look at your own greatness, you'll have difficulty looking at the greatness of others. If you only focus on your own flaws, it becomes much easier for you to see the flaws in everyone else. We're using these words so you can understand, because all of this is just an illusion. But in the reality where you were born and raised and where you developed your personalities, they feel real. And that's why we're using words that help you grasp the nature of the topic we want to discuss. So you're born into a world where you only have value if someone else gives it to you. You were born into a world where you can't just say that you're beautiful or that you're intelligent, because if you do, you'll be mistreated by other people. People who can't see the beauty of inner strength. They live off the crumbs that others provide for them. So they're unable to see the beauty in someone who can see their own greatness. Someone who is certain of the light they carry within. That they're capable, that they're perfect, that they're beautiful, that they're intelligent, that they have everything, and that they don't need to worry about a thing. This person is like those people who have different heights. That person, for example, who is over 2 meters, 2 meters and 15 centimeters tall. When people look at them, they think their life must be different. Wow, she's so tall. How I wish I were tall. But that person who's 2 meters tall says, my life is just like yours. However, I see life from a different perspective. I don't see it from the same angle as you, but I still see life the same way. And then actually, this person who has other issues to consider, not just height, but others, they do the same thing you do. So when you look at someone and compare yourself to them, you're not comparing yourself to them. You're comparing yourself with your own vision and angle to their life. But their life, which as spectacular as it may seem to you, has its own issues related to their life, which you, from your angle, simply cannot see. So you think that beauty is always in the other, on some other planet, in some other race, in some other dimension? That here, beauty doesn't exist. But do you know why you're seeing it this way? Because you're only looking from your own angle. But if you broaden your vision, you broaden your angle. That way, you'll be able to see other aspects in this same plane of existence that you live in. Many people today are distressed, and not regarding their own lives per se, but about everything that's happening on the planet. And they're distressed because they would be distressed about anything else. It's just that the current thing is external events from governments, from countries. But if it weren't that, it would be other things. It would be the neighbor's life. It would be the child's life. It would be an illness. It would be a relationship. It would be that person who cut in front of your car and rattled you. It would be that person who stepped in front of you in the supermarket line. It would be anything. But she would get distressed. Why? Because the distress is inside her. But until she stops to look at herself, looking at the light and the shadow that exists within her, she won't be able to see this. We're not telling you to look at yourself to make a list of flaws. Today, we're going beyond that. We're telling you, look at yourself and see your qualities. And after you can see these qualities in yourself, start looking for them in other people. You need to train your eyes, teach your eyes to look for the qualities in other people. Because you're so used to looking at your own flaws that your eyes are used to looking for these same flaws and so many others in other people, completely setting aside the qualities. But you, who are light, who are love, possess many and many and many qualities that you haven't even managed to see. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 20 years old or you could be 80 years old. There are qualities within you that you haven't seen yet. They're in natural flows within your being. Facets of your consciousness that are completely clear, transparent, and enlightened. And you just haven't seen them yet. And do you know why you haven't? Because you haven't stopped to observe yourself in an enlightened way. You've spent your whole life looking only at your shadows, at the few you managed to see. And today we are saying, go beyond. Look for your light. Look for your gifts, your strengths, your blessings, everything good that you possess. Look for these qualities within yourself. And once you find some of them, at least 3, look for them in other people. When you are talking to someone, when you are observing someone, when you are simply beside another person, look for those qualities in them. Even if they are quick, even if they are fleeting, look for them. Because it's only this way that you'll be able to see the divine in all things. It's by looking for the divine in things and in people, and finding the divine in things and in people, that you'll begin to relate to the world around you in a different sphere of existence. You will no longer see only pain, suffering, anguish, and stress. You will see the beautiful. You will see the miracle. You'll see the beauty that exists in every single moment of your life. Because your eyes, your senses will be more sharpened to see the light instead of seeing the shadows. This is an exercise that must be constant because you possess thousands of different facets. And in each one of them, there is light and shadow. But focus on the light, because the more you focus on the light of your consciousness, the more you expand that light. And more, as a consequence, you expand your consciousness. Look for the light within yourself before wanting to see the light that exists outside. Because if you can truly and honestly see yourself for who you really are, you will be able to see and understand any person and anything that is present in your life.